Going once, going twice, and we are live. It's Sunday. That's not Sunday morning. It's 1:30 in the afternoon. I had a lazy day today. Yesterday I got up very early at 4:30. I did some work in the morning. I had some Timmy's, and today I'm just like, forget it. I'm just going to relax and don't do much. That was my philosophy for today. Just don't do much. And then it's raining, and I still have not done one push-up. I'm coming to the end of my 30 days, and today is day 29th, 28th, I forget. And I have not done one push-up yet. I may have to do all my push-ups in the rain, but I do want to finish today. I didn't come all this way. I didn't come this far to give up 2 days before the end. So I will finish. I will finish in the rain if I have to. I'll go to Planet Fitness. I don't want to go in there and do push-ups inside, so I may have to do them in the rain outside, and then go inside and then do them in there. So let me connect here to my control room so I can control the room and look at the chat. For me to get down and give 10, I have to remove a whole bunch of stuff that I have over here. I have to open my door, and I have to remove my seat, put it on the bed, and it's doable. I can do it, but new whole potential. All right. So Anthony Smith, hello and good day. Hello to you, Anthony. Sparrow, hello Lewis, hello Sparrow. Today's the 29th, so today is the 29th day. Nancy, hello. Yeah, I already answered that. Give me 10. I can't give you 10. Hello from the Netherlands. Weepony. I think it's Weepony. Yes, Mike. Pavilion in the park. I was thinking of that too. If I was somewhere else, I know a couple pavilions, and but where I'm at today, I would have to search that to see if I could. If there's a pavilion, something I can go and do my push-ups. I'll have to look for that. I was thinking of that, and that may be an option. Robert says hello. Hi, Robert. Forrest, how is your work going? My work is going. Not today. Today is an off day. It is Sunday. Mike says it's a beautiful sunny day in Texas. Well, congratulations to you, Mike. It's raining over here. Bob Jones, yesterday it rained. My Airstream sounded like BBs were thrown on my roof. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear that, but can you hear the rain hitting my roof? I don't know if you can, but it's. If you look at the radar for the Northeast, there's a whole bunch of rain coming up the coast. So that's what I'm getting. Vanderhoof, good morning, Jerry. Let me see. Edward is wondering if I got my tires yet. I did not get my tires. Actually, yesterday I went to Costco, and I was asking about the. They only have one all-terrain tires, and I have never bought all-terrains before. This is my first time buying them, and the guy said that the ones they had at Costco do not have a warranty on them, and they're for relatively low mileage, like 40 or 50,000 miles. So I don't want to spend $1,000 on tires that only last 40 or 50,000 miles. So I don't know if there's other tires out there that will last, let's say 60, 70, 80,000 miles, but that's what I'm trying to get. And if I don't get the off-road tire, or not the off-road, the all-terrain tires, then I may have to just get good regular tires and forget the other ones. Bobby Rushing says he's up to one setup a day, half when he gets up in the morning and half when he goes to bed at night. That is funny. You should try at least two. You know, now that you're up to one, try two. It's about time I started heading south. Almost, not quite. It's coming. Weeks are just going by fast, though. New Bern, North Carolina. Robert, yes, I was there, and you're going to see the videos coming up soon of when I was in New Bern, North Carolina. I think it was New Bern. Yeah, it was New Bern. I was in New Bern. Yeah. Gerhard Merlin from Germany. It's raining and storming the whole day, same as over here. I have not heard the thunder yet, or I haven't seen lightning because I'm inside here, but it's going to be raining the whole day. Carla from Washington State. Hi, Carla. Nancy Free asks, what kind of insulation do you have? I have the pink stuff from Home Depot. Home Depot used to sell the pink. I don't know if they still do the pink insulation. Lowe's would sell the green one, which is basically the same thing. But I like the pink. I like the pink insulation. I could have used the Polizio foam, which is foam with the foil on both sides, but I went with the pink insulation. Probably I would have been better off with the foil foam, but if I do another van, I might just I might go with the spray foam, not the spray foam you get at Home Depot or Lowe's, but one that comes in big containers and I can just spray the whole inside. I might just do that. Just going through the comments here real quick. I know I'm missing comments, but Robert's on my Instagram pic. Hush hush mush mush, that's right. Can you hear the rain? Okay, Norm asks a good question. Norm asks, what kind of fuel do you use to power the forced heater in the van? I don't know if it's called a forced heater, but the heater that I have, it's called the Webasto. And the Webasto gets its fuel from my van's fuel tank. So there's a line that goes into my fuel tank. It doesn't go all the way to the bottom. It leaves me enough fuel so that I can go and get more fuel. Otherwise, I'm stuck. So it runs off of that, and all the combustion is separate from the air that comes in here. So it's not an open flame in my van. And that's what I use. And I used it the other day. It was a little chilly, and it works great. I love it. I just set the dial. I have the dial right here. Can you see it? Right there. And set the dial, whatever temperature I want, and I'm all set. Hey, Jolly bought a van. Cool. Jolly bought a van. Are you gonna be living in a van full time or just part-time thing? So Forrest says you can hear the rain, which is cool when it's like this. It's really nice being in here, cozy, and it's raining. Cats and dogs outside. I can hear the meow and the barking. Really, I can. Am I heading back to Florida? Asks Scan. Hush, hush, mush, mush. Right now, this is all top secret. I can't. You will know in about a couple months or so, maybe less. How much gas will I go through on a really cold night? The thing says, the manual, it uses about a gallon for about 24 hours of run time, right? A gallon of gas. But that depends on the setting. If you have it for a higher setting, it's going to burn more fuel. If you have it for a lower setting, it's going to use less. But really, I don't care if it's cold and it's winter. I just turn it to a comfortable temperature. My tank is full of gas, and basically, even if it uses a gallon a day, and I go somewhere, let's say BLM land, I can be there for almost a month with this thing running 24 hours a day. So it's no big deal. It's much better than carrying propane with me and all that. Susie says, howdy from Phoenix, Arizona. Howdy, Cindy. Patriot 77 asks me if I'm in Penn. I'm not in Penn's Woods. I'm in New Jersey. Cheryl Fafara asks if she can ask where I bought my coffee system. You talking about this? This milliliter? I have the plastic one too. Now I love this one for multiple reasons. One, it's not plastic, so it's not going to impart any flavor to my coffee. This is ceramic. It's pretty tough. And two, the plastic one has a hole here, so when you're pouring the coffee, the water, you can see the coffee. You can see the coffee falling through to the cup. With this one, it's completely covered. So this, in fact, makes a seal on the cup. And the reason I like that is that it keeps the heat in a cup longer than the other one. So and where did I get this? I bought this one. I believe I bought it at Myers. Myers is a big supermarket in Michigan. So if you live in Michigan, you know what I'm talking about. It's not written Myers like you're thinking. It's Meijer, I think, but the locals there pronounce it Myers, so I go figure. But that's where I bought this thing, and it works. It works fantastic. Bobby asks, how doable is for a couple to live in a van full time? I think it's doable. If you look on YouTube, there's many couples living in a van. You know, some are supposedly living in a van. I don't know, but it is possible for. See, the way I have my van set up, it would be very hard for a couple to live in here, because I built my van with the cabinets here in front of me, right? This cabinet that I have in front of me, and these cabinets that I built behind me. So these cabinets are taking up a lot of space in my van. If I didn't have these cabinets, especially this one behind me, I could sit a lot further back against the wall. So if I had, plus I don't have my bed all the way to my back door. I have about 20 inches of space for my trunk. So if this was built for a couple, I would put my bed all the way to the back by the door, so giving me an extra 20 inches of room to my right. And I wouldn't build these cabinets like this, because then, or at least either these cabinets in front of me, behind you, or the cabinets behind me, I wouldn't build, because then it would give the couple a place to sit and more room to walk past each other, right? So maybe over here in front of me I would have a counter to cook on, and then over here behind me, further back, seats against the wall. So if you do it like that, it's possible. It's still going to be a tight space. Probably the best bet for a couple is a high top van, because then you can walk, and if you get the highest roof and the longest length, you know, I've been in those, and basically if I was living in that van, from where my bed is, I could walk 5 steps until I reached my bulkhead, and that's just amazing. So I wish I had that. I don't have it, but I think for a couple that's the most feasible. Not that, I mean, if this is all you had, then you can live in it, but I think a higher top van would be better. Just catching up on the comments, because I go off and I start talking too much, and what would I do differently if I built another stealth van? I don't know. I mean, it all depends. It all depends on a van. If I built another van and it's a high top van, yeah, it would be different, because now I can stand up. So I would have room for a proper kitchen. I would have a countertop. Probably I would use, and this is, you know, when you're building something, your ideas change. But I could use laminate. I did that for the high top van that I did for a friend of mine. And in the beginning, I was having a hard time with the laminate, because I had never done it before. But by the time I was done, you know, I'm like, oh, this is a piece of cake. And it turned out pretty good. I don't know if it's still that way a year or so later, but yeah, that's one thing I would do different, you know. Countertop, cabinets on top, cabinets underneath. So every build is different. I could do a build like this from scratch and I would probably do it a little bit different. It's just the way things start going. You know, once you start doing one thing, it leads to another, and then. But I haven't changed much in my van. I just added a few things, and I'm happy with my van. I mean, this is my home. I'm not changing anything. So. Yes, Myers is like Myers is like an upscale Walmart. They go in there and you have everything, and it's pretty cool. No, Kenny, I said that's the first thing I said today. I didn't do any push-ups yet today. I'm still to do my, but I'm not going to give up. There's 2 days left on my 30-day challenge, and I'm not going to give up just because of a little rain. So I will get my push-ups in. I hope. Maybe today is the day that I don't know. You'll see that in a future video, but I'm hoping to get my push-ups done. I don't see any more questions. There's one just came up. Kenny is waiting for the day I do all my push-ups in how many minutes? In 10 minutes. It is possible. I'm going to come to a time where I've already been thinking of that. Once I have my 30 days completed, I'm going to take a break for a day or two, let the muscles recoup, rebuild, and then I'm thinking, like in the morning when I get to work, of doing probably 50. So I'll do 10, take a couple seconds break, do another 10, and repeat. And then in the afternoon when I leave work, do another 50. So, and the goal is to eventually do more than 100. So we'll see what happens. I see questions coming in. They come in too fast over here. Where do I put my gray water tank? My gray water tank is just a container from Walmart, plastic container with a lid, and that's my gray tank that I empty every day. So I don't need a gray tank or a black tank. I just make do. Gotta keep it simple. You live in a van, you don't want to make it too complicated. You know, if I had a high top van, full length, full height, I have thoughts of installing a shower in there, right? So I can take my own shower, and installing tanks in there, water tanks, and then the waste tanks for the gray and black water. But you know, then it becomes a concern in the winter when it gets really cold and things start freezing up, especially if I'm working and I don't have my heater on. Then I could have an issue with the tank freezing and all that. So the idea of having a shower in my van is a good one. Do I want to have water tanks and all that? I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. You know, I could just have those 6-gallon tanks, containers from Walmart, and I can just put a hose in there and then have an instant water heater, and whenever I want to take a shower I can just use the instant water heater and put the thing in there and or put the water in the bucket, you know. So I've taken showers with less than a gallon of water, so I don't need a lot of water to take a shower. So why was I talking about this? I forgot. Oh, the gray tank. Ever thought of becoming a vegan? No. I mean, I don't eat a lot of meat as it is, even though I bought a chicken yesterday at Costco, and this thing is like twice the size of a regular store chicken, and it's probably cheaper even. It costs less than $5. So I'm gonna have chicken for the whole week. But usually I eat a lot of vegetables and stuff. So no, I have not. But well, you know, I'm lying. No, I'm not lying, but I haven't thought of becoming a vegan. But sometimes I see videos of these like cows, and the cows act like a pet, or the people treat them like a pet, you know. And the cow, you know, they just laying there, you know, and like a dog, basically. And you see the emotion in the cow and all that. You know, it it makes me think twice about, you know, wanting to eat cow meat, which I don't eat. I don't eat a lot of red meat. Once in a blue moon, I will have maybe the last time I had a burger was in Florida almost a year ago. So I don't have burgers a lot, and I don't have steaks. I don't go to the store and buy steaks and do all that. So, but it makes you think when you see that, you know. But on the other hand, I know that cows were made for people to eat. You know, God created them for us. But at the same time, you see, you know, you get personal with the animal, and you know. How long, Sebastian 642? How long do it take? How long did it take to build your van completely? My van took me 2 summers to build completely, and even after those 2 summers, once in a while I'm still doing some little projects. Like I built just last summer I built this back thing here, the divider between my living area and the trunk or the garage area of the van. In the past I had a curtain in there, and then I changed things, and so now I'm much happier with this. But it took me about 2 summers, and basically during the week I would sleep in the van at work just the way it was, and then on the weekends I would go up to Pennsylvania. I still had my house. The bank hadn't taken the house yet, and I would go there, and I turned the electricity back on, and because they didn't have electricity when I went there, you know, there was a pipe that was burst in the living room, so the living room was like ruined, and I had a $3,000 TV that was ruined, left there in the living room. I ended up taking all that garbage in the living room and put it on the deck, in the back of the house, because it was going to get moldy, and I was going to sell stuff from the house, so I had to clean it up. But I took advantage of having the house there, and then on the weekends I would go there and use electricity from the house to power my tools. I didn't have my solar yet, and and basically all weekend long, from morning till night, I would be working on a van, and that was my weekends for 2 summers. And sometimes even during the night, if I was doing the polyurethane or the wipe on poly on my cabinets, I would set an alarm on my phone to wake me up every 3-4 hours, and then I would wake up. The coat would have dried because I did 3 coats of wipe on poly. So in between every coat, I would lightly sand it, and then with a very fine grain sander, and then I would wipe that dust off, and then I would give it another coat. So a lot of nights I worked all throughout the night. Every 3 to 4 hours I would wake up and go do that. And even in the fall, and I remember in the winter, it would be cold, and I had 2 kerosene heaters that I had in the house. And I would go buy kerosene, fill the kerosene heaters, turn them on in a garage, and heat up the garage so that the garage was a nice warm environment for stuff to dry. And then I would be doing the polyurethane there and letting it dry with the heat from the kerosene heaters. So it took me a while, but I was doing it on the weekends when I was off from work. So if I wasn't off from work, it would have been, if I was not working full time, then it could have been done a lot faster. But and if you want to live in a van, you don't have to do something elaborate as this. You don't have to do the work I did on my wood. I mean, every piece of wood that's in my van, well, almost every piece. Under the bed, I have a piece of wood that I never did any. I never stained it. Maybe one day I will stain it. The piece of wood covering my Webasto has not been stained either. So there's a couple pieces in my van that have not been stained, which I would like to stain. I don't know why I never did it. It was just one of those things that I was doing something else, and the time didn't permit for me to do that. And then you know what happens. Time flies and you just don't do it. But what was I thinking? So you can build your van whichever way you like. You can make it very simple, and you can build your van in a weekend, or you can take longer like I did. So every piece of wood in my van was cut, measured, cut, checked, rechecked, sometimes checked 10 times to make sure it fit, and then it was sanded with 3 types of sandpaper, and then stained. And then after the stain dried, it was sanded again, wiped clean, and then three times of the polyurethane was applied 3 times. So a lot of work went into it. And I'm talking too much here. I'm not married, but I have 2 children. I'm not married anymore. I was married, but I'm no longer married, and I have 2 kids. I have a daughter and a son, and yeah. How much solar do I have? I have 325 watts of solar, one panel, a 325 watt panel from Kyocera. Brian says he's facing foreclosure and he's thinking of living in a van. Brian, I think you're going to save a lot of money. If you can live in a van, and living in a van is not for everyone, but if you can do it, listen, anywhere you go, your home is with you. You don't have to travel back and forth for work if you work full time, and and you can save a lot of money. You don't have to pay rent. You don't have to pay a mortgage. You don't have to listen to your landlord tell you can't do this, you can't do that. And just the thought of having a check every month, and the months just come like this. It just seems like the months just come around so quick. And the thought of having to pay $500 to $1,000 to a landlord every month for rent, and that's money that you're not going to recoup. It's never going to be yours in any way. It just seems like a waste of money to me. So if you can live in a van, even if you buy a new van like I did, you make the payments, and those payments go towards you because you're paying for your home, your van. So if you can do it, I tell you, you're not going to regret it. Rodney asks if I ever thought of doing a high top to my van. No, and I don't want to do that, because to do a high top on my van, I would lose all this work. All this would be lost. So all my lights I would have to take down. I would have to redo all my vents. I would have to redo everything. Now the bulkhead that I built is not high enough, so I have to do something different. My cabinets now would be at this height, and then the roof is higher, so I have to do something else. It would just be a mess. So I will not do that. I would lose my solar, I would lose my roof rack, and that's something that I have no interest in. I would rather just buy a van that's already a high top than to modify this van. It's not for me. Tony M asks, how does your tax situation work when working in one state and reside in another? Well, it's no different than when I resided in Pennsylvania and worked in New Jersey. There's no difference with that. The only difference was this. New Jersey and Pennsylvania had an agreement. So I pay taxes in New Jersey. The taxes were taken out of my check every week in New Jersey. But at the end of the year, when I did my taxes, I would get the full refund back from New Jersey, and then I would have to pay Pennsylvania taxes, which usually were higher than New Jersey's, by about $700, give or take. Now with South Dakota does not have a state income tax, but New Jersey does, and they don't have an agreement. So because of that, or because there's no income tax in South Dakota, I have to pay the New Jersey taxes instead. But it's fine because they're a lot less than Pennsylvania's, and they're already taken out, so I don't have to come up with the money at the end of the year when I do my taxes. That money has already been taken out. Usually I get a refund back because I overpaid basically. How long does my Webasto take to warm? Not long at all. I turn the Webasto on, and I usually, when I turn it to the temperature that more or less that I want. But if I wanted to heat it up really quick, I can just turn it to the maximum, and this thing it starts warming up really quick. It doesn't take much time at all. I mean, this is a small space, and that air comes out. I have a thermometer, one of those electronic digital thermometers for meat and stuff. I put the thing there one time by the heat when it was starting up, and I forgot that it was really hot. I think it was over 200 degrees. It was really hot coming out of there. I mean, you can put your hand there safely, but not for too long, But yeah, it's hot. It'll warm up the place really quick. And they sell them in different sizes. I think mine is the smallest. They sell them. They sell bigger units, so if you have a bigger space, you can get the bigger unit. I did not install the Webesto by myself. I didn't do it because I had to deal with dropping my fuel tank, okay, and drilling into the fuel tank. And those were two things I did not want to do. You don't want to go in some parking lot and try to work on dropping your fuel tank down and then bringing it back up again. Okay, that's going to be a pain. And then drilling into a gas tank, it's, you know, it's pretty unnerving. You know, one little spark and the whole thing can blow. So I had a place in Avoca, New York. I forget the name of the company, but if you want to look, you can look them up. If you go on my videos about the Webesto installation, I think I have a link for their place in there. But yeah, that's something that I did not want to do. But I did tell them, you know, once you do the installation, once you install the Webesto, I will do all the electrical work. So I did not want them to come in here and start drilling and poking holes and all that. I told them I will do the electrical work. So as soon as they install the unit, connect all the hoses, all the fuel pump and all that, and everything was set to go, I came in here and I wired the unit to my my fuse box, and then we tried it out before I left, and yeah, so look, I thought of installing a wood stove in my van also. Actually, I know now there's a lot of van dwellers there, or some van dwellers, they've had the propane, the Kimberly stove, and the I forget the name of the other one. You got the Kimberly, and then even the mini stove and all that. When I was planning on building my van, I was looking for different heating sources, and I came upon all those different heating things, including the mini stove and all that. The reason I didn't install it was because you know, it wouldn't fit a chimney where I would have to put the unit. I just didn't have room for the flue pipe to go under my solar panel, and something like that, I don't like to just look at it somewhere. Oh, I want to buy this, and then I buy it and then I install it. I like to think about it for a while, even if I go 1 or 2 seasons without having a heat stove or some form of heating thing installed. I will go a couple seasons thinking about it to make sure I get the right unit, and I think I got the right unit for my van, because I don't have to carry wood, I don't have to carry pellet logs, I don't have to carry any of that stuff. It's connected to my gas tank, and all I got to do is turn the dial, and I have heat. I don't have to think of any other thing to do besides turning the dial. Now, if I had a bigger van, right, now I could consider installing a small wood stove. The Kimberly, when I looked at the Kimberly in 2014, I thought the Kimberly was a wonderful unit to have. It's small, it's compact, it has a double combustion chamber, it burns very efficiently. Basically, you have like nothing left of the wood, and it's a beautiful unit. But the prohibited thing of that unit is the price. It's about $4,000. So that's one of the reasons I didn't buy it in 2014. You know, I was just thinking about it, shouldn't I, and then I ended up never buying one, and then I went with the Webesto. And even with the Webesto, I had looked at the Webesto and I gave up on the Webasto because one, the Webasto website is very confusing, very poorly built. I think they should redesign that thing because it's extremely confusing to the user. And I didn't realize that they had a gas unit. I knew they had diesel units, and I even thought of installing a diesel tank underneath my van, a small tank that I could pump diesel into, and then have my Webasto connected to the diesel tank. And then something I said on video or something, and then a friend of mine, Duncan, from Expediting Travels, reminded me that Webasto does make a unit, a gas unit, the one I wanted to buy, but in gas, running on gas. And then thanks to him, I finally I got my Webasto. But yeah, that thing is very poorly designed, their website, and I almost didn't have a Webasto because of that. But had I known that they had a a gas unit, I would have had my Webasto probably a year or two earlier. But you know, everything in its time. And again, I just go off and I just talk too much. And I missed a whole bunch of comments here. Brian asks, you think I'll be able to survive a New York winter? I survive New York winters. That's where I live, in the New York, New Jersey area. So I survived in my van minus 36-degree weather. So, and I did it in my 40-degree sleeping bag with a fleece blanket inserted underneath, inside it, and then a comforter on top of me. And I was perfectly fine. And I had a little thing for my head. You can get a much better sleeping bag. You can have a body heater. You can have different ways of heating the van, and even if you don't heat it at night while you sleep, because you don't want to have a flame, an open flame while you sleep, you can just bundle up and you'll be fine. So I think well, me personally, I wouldn't have a problem with it because I've done it, and my mentality is I'm going to survive regardless. So if I had to live in Alaska, I would survive. I would find a way to survive there and live there in the winter. You know, so that's me. Some people can't do it. I don't know if you are that person or not, but if you think you can do it, I don't think you have a problem. But if you have doubts, do your research. You know, see how, if you live in a house now, and if you're going to live in a house this winter, try turning the heat off in a room in a house, if you can do that. Turn off the heat for that room, let the room be cold, and then go in there and sleep at night. Get a nice sleeping bag, experiment with sleeping bags, with blankets and stuff, and try sleeping in. Or if you can't do that, get a tent and go outside in the winter and just sleep in a tent. You know, see how you can do it. If I had to live in a tent, I would just do it. I would, you know, that's my mentality. If I had to do something, I would just do it, and I would think about it twice. Truth sets you free. Thank you very much. I'm not going to read it because I don't want to. I'm not doing anything special. So, but thank you very much. Fish Hand says hi from the UK. Hi back from New Jersey. how do I pick the Psalms to put at the end of the, I don't pick the Psalms. Well, some videos I specifically pick the verse for that video, but mostly I go from Genesis to Revelation. So I go verse by verse, and I just pick a nice verse from each psalm or each chapter or whatever, and I just do it like that. I go from beginning to end. So that's nothing more complicated than that. How much is the MPG on my van? I don't know, 15, 16 miles per gallon. If I fill it up, and it's about a 31 gallon tank, more or less. If I fill it up and I just drive on a highway, I can do over 500 miles. I can travel over 500 miles on a fuel tank. Now, if you start going uphill a lot or stop and go in the city, you're going to burn more. So, but I don't worry about miles per gallon. I mean, that's not, when I go fill up, I'm not going, oh, the miles per gallon, what did I do? I mean, or you know, I don't think when driving, oh, I can't go through the city because it's stop and go. I have to go around 100 miles so I can go through the highway. I don't think like that. This is my home. This is where I live. I have to pay whatever, and you know, I drive carefully. I'm not speeding. I try not to go too fast, so I have to brake very hard. I try to go at a right speed. Sometimes things are unavoidable, and I just deal with it. So I'm not worried about miles per gallon. It's not. I know that when you're buying a new van, you want to buy the best van possible, right? But the Chevy is not one of those. I mean, if you got a diesel van, those will give you a lot more miles per gallon. But then again, the engine is going to run you $5,000 to $10,000 more. So the thing is, over the lifetime of the van, how much fuel can you buy with $5,000 to $10,000? So even though it's less miles per gallon, you still buy much more fuel with the money that you save. So are you really saving any money? I don't know. Jerry, if Van Jones is screaming in the background and he needs to take a leak, that's his problem. I'm not going to help him. Hold on one second. I think I hear knocking. No, it was false alarm. He's in the basement, but I was hearing knocking from the back. But yeah, I don't think it was him. But oh, darn it! Did you see that? He just attacked me. How did he get in here? Man, that guy's sneaky. He's got a tiny hand, but he's strong. Ow! You saw that, right? Darn this guy. You're right, Jerry. He was hollowing in the back. He was, He's gone now. I shoot him off. Does he snore? Oh, I just gave my prop away, darn it. Yeah, that was not Van Jones. That was my scratcher. This was a gift. This was a gift that I got from somebody. And it's very nice, you know. I can sit here and have my back scratched. It's very good. Oh, higher, higher, lower. lower, this way, the other way. This is really good. You know, really cool. And it can serve as a, you know, a prop. Oh, I pulled my cord. Anyway, what's the comments? Blinker fluid. Blinker fluid. I should give him blinker fluid, right? All right, I'm going to cut this video short at the hour mark, before the hour mark. It's 56 minutes now. I've been blubbering away for almost an hour, and yeah, he's got plenty of dehydrated water. You know, that thing works good. I mean, when you go backpacking, that's the best thing when you go backpacking. Imagine all the water that you don't have to carry with you. You know, it's fantastic. They should have invented that many years ago. There was a comment here. How did I find religion? Okay, I'm going to end with that. I did not find religion. Okay. Oh, this is good. I became a believer when I was very young. I was in Sunday school, and that's when I became a believer. So a lot of people confuse Christianity with religion. True Christianity is not a religion. True Christianity is a relationship between a person and God, not a religion. A religion is where man, through their own means, try to reach God, right? That's a religion. By the things that men do, by their either how many times they have to pray a day, how many things they have to eat, how many pamphlets they have to give out, right? How many people they convert, how many things they have to do. It's all what they have to do to reach God. That's a religion. True Christianity is not what we have to do to reach God. It's what God did to reach us. Okay, that's true Christianity. It's not a religion, it's a relationship. And it's what God did. God came down to us as a man. He lived a sinless life, and he died on a cross, on a Roman cross, meant for evil, meant for destruction and killing. That's where he died, as a lamb of God that died for all of us. And through his sacrificial death that was done and once and for all, never to be repeated, that sacrificial blood is what cleanses us of our sins. And that's what true Christianity is. It's not a set of rules. It's not a set of do's and don'ts. It's not how many books you sell. It's not how many things you do. It's the relationship between the person and God. That's what sets Christianity, through Christianity, apart from religion. And so I am not religious. I am a Christian. And I think there's a big difference in that. And with that, I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm almost at the hour mark. And I bid everyone a wonderful Sunday, or if you're already on Monday, have a wonderful Monday, if that's possible. It's work time. You have to go to work, and I don't feel like doing that. But Thank you for being with me, and I hope everyone is well. And now I have to press the finish button. So everybody,